Welcome to Conversations with KoGi. My special guest is Kellee Stewart. You know her as a actress, infertility advocate, reproductive health, all the things, CW, All American. I mean, please introduce yourself to us because the bio is very long. That's when you've done some things. So, yeah, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Well, hello. My name is Kellee Stewart. I'm originally from Philadelphia, but I'm out here in La La Land in Hollywood, where I started off as an actor. I then became a writer, and through my own personal journey of freezing my eggs, I decided to write a screenplay called 29 Eggs, which is how many eggs I froze when I was age 37. And I sold a screenplay about that to Lifetime Network. And we were ready to shoot, but then COVID hit. And so since that shut it down, I started to advocate online. And so now, gratefully, I humbly get to serve my community, Black and Brown folks, in the space of proactive fertility health. Yeah.
I love that. But you know what? When COVID hit, so many people, I mean, I was working because I'm a first line worker, but so many people got creative. So many people figured out a way to make money during COVID. So the fact that you're like, yeah, production shut down, but guess what? I flipped it. And now my presence is, because you're everywhere. I always see you all over talking about reproductive health, advocating for women's health. And I'm just like, okay, I have to talk to you. I have some questions. I need to go to an expert. So yeah. My first question to you honestly is, a lot of times they say you have to have children by a certain age. You have to be married by a certain age. Usually it's 25, 30 or whatever they say. And at your age, like you said, you were 37. So give us that journey, because I'm going to tell you, my mom, she had her child at 47. I have a brother who's 22.
Amen. You see how we can defy the odds? You understand how Black girl magic really works?
Girl.
Yeah, I was in a 7-year relationship, and it didn't result in marriage. And to be honest, I should have left that relationship 2 years in. So I was one of those people, as we often lie to ourselves, and we sometimes fall in love with potential instead of the actual truth. And I stayed 5 years past the expiration date. And so when that relationship was over, I always wanted to be a mother. I was 37 years old, and I was terrified because I was like, oh my God. And it hit me that I gave away my best baby making years to the wrong man and the wrong relationship. I was one of those women that thought, I'm going to get married, then I'll get pregnant. It'll all work out. I wasn't going to cross that fertility bridge until I got to it. And, but we broke up on a Sunday. The Philadelphia Eagles were playing the New York Giants. I'm from Philly, like I said. The Eagles won. He's from New York. The Giants lost. And then by Wednesday, I was at the fertility clinic, and I was like, do I have any eggs left? Is it dry up there? What's going on? And luckily, it's true, because I had never tried to get pregnant, and I had never looked into my fertility health. So to fully answer your question, when you say what age, medically speaking, they would want you to get pregnant as soon as possible. Women are born with all the eggs they are ever going to have, right? So we don't make more, and the older we get, our eggs get older, the percentages go down. But for me, luckily, I was a candidate to freeze my eggs, and in one round, I got 29 eggs frozen. 32 eggs were retrieved, and 29 were frozen. So that just goes to show you that our fertility, it differs from person to person. But what I learned from it is there are 2 tests. You can take an AMH test, which is your anti-Müllerian hormone. It's a blood test. And your FSH, which is your follicle stimulating hormone. And that will give doctors and yourself a gauge about how many eggs you have left. That's called your ovarian reserve. Nobody told me that. Every year when I go to the gynecologist, nobody told me that there was
ain't nobody told me that.
That's right. So that's part of what this conversation is so important about. So I'm glad to be here.
Yeah, because nobody tells you that. They just, time for the annual. You got to what's going on. We got to do this. We got to do that. Do the blood workup. And the blood workup, I mean, working in the medical field is usually just your chemistries, your hematologies, honey, your coags, and that's it. And they send you on about your way. You're good. Your urine good. Your blood good. Bye. They don't tell you about that.
I know. And it's a simple little prick. You can, and also there are at-home kits that will give women an understanding, or those that identify as female and have ovaries, because not all people that identify as female are born with ovaries.
Thank you.
And so, and also not born with uterus. There's something called MRKH. So we have to understand what's going on. So a lot of times when somebody is having an infertility issue, they don't know it until they're trying to get pregnant. And unfortunately, it's something that could have been caught a long time ago if we had gotten that AMH test, or if we had gotten checked for fibroids. And, fibroids aren't curable. I'm not saying that. But what I am saying is be proactive about your fertility health. We're taught sex education in school, but we're not taught reproductive health. That's totally different.
You are so right about that. And even in school now, I think they don't even teach I think they call it health, but I don't even know if they teach health. I don't know what the school system is doing these days. But I know back in my day, I at least got a little sex education, some little biology of the body, or some human anatomy, physiology. But the confusion about who can, who can't, what that looks like you said, some women don't have a uterus, you don't have ovaries. So it kind of irritates me online when people are like, why you don't want kids, and what, all this pressure to have kids. And I'm like, do y'all understand that some people can't have kids? Some people don't know if they can. Like you just really don't know all these assumptions.
And some people don't want kids, which is absolutely absolutely great. I mean, I'm a fertility advocate, and I advocate for the people that don't want to have any type of child come out of their body. I totally understand that, and in this society, it's interesting. When I was born, my mom always tells the story, Mama Stu, as we call her, always tells the story that she didn't want to have another child. So I wasn't really supposed to be here if it was up to her. My daddy did. And so they went on vacation, and then they smuggled me back in through customs. But that part. But when I was born, she told the doctor, tie my tubes. She was done. And back then, my father, he had to legally sign in order for her to get her tubes tied. And, because the husband had domain over and autonomy over a woman's choices and bodies.
We were property.
Correct. And now just so you have an introduction into my mother, into Mama Stu, she took obey out of her wedding vows. So that tells you the type of woman.
She was the woman who did that. She saw it online.
Yes.
And they were having a fit over when the pastor said obey, and she was like, obey,
My mom went to her pastor prior to the wedding and said, take it out, and I mean right now. Do not even say it to us, because it's not coming out of my mouth. And he took it out. So my father knew the woman that he married. He knew who he married. So he didn't want to sign the piece of paper. And she looked at him. She said, let me tell you something. You can have another baby. You can have all the babies you want, just not with me. I'm done. So you either sign those papers or you want to sign a divorce paper. Just your choice. So he signed the papers. He's madly in love with my mother. But madly in love. But pregnancy it's not easy. It's
Girl.
hard on our body. Raising children is hard. And my mom grew up at a time where, like you brought up earlier, you were supposed to go to college, you were supposed to get married, you were supposed to have children. And so she was following that course. And I remember when I froze my eggs, when I woke up, you know, the doctor said to my mom, you know, your daughter is a feisty one. She was arguing with me the whole time before I put her under. I mean, it was just a lot. And my mom said, who are you telling? Because if they were doing this back in my day, her ass would still be frozen. And as funny as it was,
that is a word.
that's a word. And as much as I laughed at it, I was like, Mom, why'd you say that? And then she said, well, listen, I don't regret having you, your brother. I wouldn't take one day back, but I didn't have this option. I didn't have the choice to preserve my fertility and travel or do something I wanted to do in my career or wait until I had the perfect house or just spend time getting to know myself. You know, I didn't have the option of using this medical procedure to give myself time to grow up enough to have a child at a time that I felt more prepared. And I'm so proud of you that you took this option into your hands and you took control of your fertility future. So it's a big deal. The same woman that was telling her husband to sign that paper because she was done was telling me that's right, you know, because she helped me freeze my eggs. And I'm so glad you're doing it because it wasn't available to her.
I love hearing that because it's, oh Lord, it's just so, it's so unfortunate how many hurdles we've had to overcome as women, especially Black women. And when you talk about the maternal, you know, we talk about the death rate, we talk about how we're in pain going to the hospital, and when doctors don't believe we're in pain. Like I've had issues with my ovaries. Like I've had an ovarian cyst. I had the surgical procedure and had that one removed. But I do recall them not believing just how much in pain I was. And something hurting down there, like, you know, you start trying to point to where this is and that is. And I was just like, I know my body. Like I told the doctor, I was like, I have bad cycles. I knew that. I mean, I've had a cycle since I was 9.
Wow. Okay.
I developed early. And it scared the shit out of me. Like, what the fuck? I'm 9 years old. What is this? But I've always had really, really bad cycles. And I knew something was wrong. I was like, this is not correct. So they did more tests, ultrasound, all the things. And they were like, oh, you have a cyst. Like, yeah, we understand why you're in so much pain. I hate when that happens. And I'm like, really? So I had the procedure and that was removed. And I then later discovered I had endometriosis. I was like, oh, well, all right. A lot of things are making sense. I have epilepsy. So my pregnancy years ago, I mean, my son is 25, it was high risk. So I went to the doctor every week. So I've always had reproductive health and issues. And I've always said, like, okay, I'm never having another baby, even though I want another baby. I love kids, you know, I'm everybody's tata, but it's too much for my body. I don't want to carry, you know, I don't want to be the one to carry, you know, as a lesbian. I'm like, I would prefer if my more feminine partner, like I'll be over here, you know, pop my collar. Yeah, I got it. I'm good. But let me rub your belly, baby girl. No, ma'am. You know?
Yes.
So, but I want kids. Yeah.
I hear that. If I may, I'm going to address a couple of things that you said, because you said a lot. You said a lot.
I did.
And let me just say, like, thank you for saying a lot. Like, thank you for going through everything that you went through. Thank you for, shouting, at the rooftops that you were in pain and not allowing yourself to be dismissed, and for sharing that publicly and allowing your audience to hear that, because we need to align with each other and understand that we're not the only ones. So I first and foremost want to just give you praise and honor for that. And yes, in terms of the Black maternal death rate and pain not being believed, I think one of the things that we have to know as Black people is that we have a valid mistrust of the healthcare in this country. Black women dating back, to when we were enslaved Africans. J. Marion Sims. J. Marion Sims was a doctor in the U.S. that the U.S. calls the father of gynecology, one of the most esteemed doctors of gynecology. Well, he did tests on enslaved African women without anesthesia. And
my Lord,
this is who we're deeming as the father of gynecology. I have a reason to not trust. So let me start there. So I just want you to the history of Black people in this country, how we got here, how Henrietta Lacks, all of
I love
all
Henrietta.
of the things,
Yes, honey.
all of the things
read the book.
Exactly, all the things that went on. If people, we need to continuously educate ourselves about why there is a very valid mistrust. So what you're feeling is valid. That's number one. Number two, you also need to be able to empower yourself to find another doctor, another clinic, another hospital. There is nothing wrong with going to doctors that look like you. There's nothing wrong. Sometimes we feel like when we go to a doctor that they are the hierarchy because they're the scientists, they know more than we do, and we never even investigate a second choice, a third choice. Ask yourself, you need to be interviewing your gynecologist, your fertility specialist. You need to take a tour around town to see who speaks into your listening. This is your body and this is your care. You don't have to go with the first choice just because this was the first one on the list that your insurance carrier, occupies. Understand that you have choices in this journey as well. So that's number two. What you said about having bad periods is number three that I'm going to talk about. You said, I always had bad periods. I started my cycle when I was 9 years old. So here's the thing. We have normalized bad periods in the African-American community, bad menstrual cycles. Oh, she just on her period. She bleeds heavy. She's staying home from school because she has bad periods. I want to say very loudly and clearly to anybody that can hear my voice, there is no reason for you to have a bad period unless there is an underlying condition. Bad periods are always an indication that there is an underlying problem that you are not yet aware of. A bad period is a symptom. Just like when you have a headache and you are you take a Tylenol or an Advil, that may not that may take away the symptom, but not cure what caused the headache. What caused it?
Right.
Were you dehydrated? Were you too hungry? If you have a bad period, you have to ask yourself, what is causing this? Fibroids. You mentioned endometriosis. To be clear,
I have fibroids.
Fibroids are something that we fibroids, just so everybody knows, is a non-cancerous tumor that is inside or outside of the uterus, sometimes both. They come in multiple, sometimes they're as small as your pinky finger, and sometimes they're as big as a watermelon, depending. And they can be in clusters. They can be all over. They cause infertility. Sometimes they don't cause a problem. There's things to know. But heavy bleeding, blood transfusions, fibroids are something that if it is extreme, can kill you. Something people need to know is your period is a vital sign. Let me make that very clear. The same way your oxygen levels are a vital sign. Your heartbeat is a vital sign. When people take your pulse, and you work in healthcare, so you know, the menstrual cycle is a vital sign. Anything that can bring life or cause death is a vital sign. So people that have ovaries and that bleed once a month or every other month or however your cycle goes, that is a vital sign. So treat it as such. You also mentioned endometriosis. For those listening, endometriosis is when the lining, the blood lining that is supposed to be inside of the uterus, when a fertilized egg attaches to the endometrium lining inside of the uterus, it then is an active pregnancy and it multiplies. What endometriosis is that lining is outside of the uterus. So it's not in the correct place. And that can cause a lot of pain, something we call chocolate packets. It can build up over time. And oftentimes people may need a medical procedure in order to clear that out. So that's why I say you went through a lot. So I understand when you say I may want another baby. I may want another baby, but I ain't trying to carry it.
Listen. No, ma'am.
Whether it's your partner that is carrying, or whether you want to use a gestational carrier or a surrogate, go ahead and do it. Because like my mama said earlier when I was talking about my mama, these options weren't available to her.
Yeah.
So how dare we not take advantage of how far we've come? How dare we not take advantage of what Henrietta Lacks went through, what all those women that I just mentioned that J. Marion Sims did that to? Like, we're here and we're going to stay here. And people are going to believe our pain because we're not going to shut up about it. And conversations like this, conversations with KoGi, these are the conversations that will help us not feel alone and empower ourselves to find out what's wrong. Why is my period bad? Because it's not a thing. That's a myth that has to be debunked. If Auntie says, oh, you just have a bad period, tell Auntie, no, there's something wrong.
Listen, that has always been forever. You're so right. Like, I mean, and even in movies, television, everybody, the bad period is, oh, don't pay no mind. She just on her cycle. Don't worry about it. I'll take some PMS. I mean, can you imagine how much money too has been made? Like you said, it's an underlying condition. It is a vital sign, right? The cycle is a vital sign, which, by the way, is definitely the title of this episode because, duh, that's amazing. I was and like, true. Ooh, yeah, the cycle is a vital sign. But if you just think about financially, how much money is being made by pharmaceutical companies because we are always said, you in pain? I'm on my cycle. That's a bad period. Go take a Advil. Go take a Midol. PMS. Like, how many things are on the market these days that have basically pampered us, right? Has basically put a pacifier and said, here you go. Okay, you feel better now? You know, I mean, and just pushed us on. And so many women, like you said, are just like, oh man, my period was so bad this month. I took some Advil, drank some tea, and and you put money in their pockets. And then you go to the doctor, say I'm in pain. What's your pain level? Is it 1? Is it 5? Is it 10? I'm hurting. Like, don't take blood work and then call you in a couple of days with the results. No. Don't prescribe me no tramadol, naproxen. Come on now. Because then guess what's going to happen? Then you're going to get addicted. See, all this is cyclical. Like, say we're in pain, go to the doctor. They may send us home with a bunch of medicine, call you in a couple of days with your blood work. And the pain medicine that they put us on, some people get addicted to, or you keep going back to that same pain medication every time your periods are bad, when really, no, you should be going to see a specialist. Like you said, you should be having what is the name of the test you said? Ovarian.
Well, for the fertility for
what do we
the fertility diagnostic test, or you mean?
Well, no. No, not fertility diagnostic. Was that for the ovarian screening? That was a fertility, right?
Oh no, for an ultrasound will tell people if you have fibroids,
Right.
like an ultrasound if you're in pain.
Right.
Endometriosis is usually diagnosed through surgery, believe it or not.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of different tests that can happen. Basically, the basic thing to what you're saying is that
Mm-hmm.
we don't want to be treating the symptom. We want to find out what's causing the pain. And what
Yes.
we need to know as a society is that people that identify as female and that do have a cycle, if you have to stay out of school or out of work, if you are doubled over in pain,
Mm-hmm.
heavy bleeding,
Mm-hmm.
feverish, chills, there is something wrong. That is
Mm-hmm.
not normal. Do not
Mm-hmm.
normalize bad cycles, especially in the Black community. That is something that we normalize because as we talk about the fact that doctors don't believe our pain, and it's true, and some do,
Mm-hmm.
we're not saying all here, okay?
Right.
But this is
Right.
our lived experience. We
Mm-hmm.
also have to know that sometimes we normalize our own. Don't be Superwoman, girl. Don't
That's true.
something is wrong. Don't say, "Oh,
Yeah.
girl, I just have bad periods." No,
That's
no, no,
my
you don't.
problem.
There's something else going
Mm-hmm.
on, and you always have to investigate what that is.
Yeah. I agree with that. Audience, please investigate. Don't do like me and bleed for a long time and then find out you have huge polyps and have to
Yeah,
have an emergency surgery. Okay. So yeah.
girl.
Don't try to be like me. don't
No.
don't try to be like me and be like, oh, it's just a fistula. Oh,
Hmm.
I'm just having a no. We got to
That's
start
why it's
listening to our bodies for real.
and talking about it. We have,
Talking about it.
and our elders in our family need to talk about it. If they went through
Yes.
fibroids, tell the youngins that you had fibroids, that you had
Please tell the
endometriosis,
youngins.
that you miscarried. Tell them because it's the only way we'll
Yes.
know. You know what I mean? To what to look out for.
But you know what? Honestly, Kelly, sorry. You
Mhm.
know what? It comes with, I think, too, in our community, there's such a like shame to certain
Mhm.
conversations, especially
Mhm.
women, and I feel like people kind of are silent on so many things. And this is one of those conversations that they don't want to talk about. It's like, oh, I'm all right. I'm just having a bad day. Oh, I'm my cycle bad. Or like you said, I'm in pain. But is it is it a lot of pain? Is it a 10? Maybe it's a
Mhm.
5. You know,
Mhm.
like we try to self-diagnose because we're kind of afraid of what are those results?
Mhm.
What are those results? Especially my grandmother died of ovarian cancer. And so you go to the doctor in fear. A lot of
Yes.
people don't want to go to the doctor because of fear. It's a fear because so many people in your family being Black, the percentages, heart, cancer, whatever, all you're thinking about is, oh my God, such and such died, such and such died. And there's a fear, and you're not saying, the question should be, am I in pain enough to where I need to be okay, basically?
Mhm.
You need to be concerned about yourself and
Mhm.
about the fear. You need to be concerned more about yourself.
And I think what you're saying is true. We do have an internal shame and we have to break it. But that's why things like conversations with KoGi is so important
Thank
because
you.
people that will hear this will know that they're not alone, will go,
Mm-hmm.
maybe that light bulb will go off. Somebody that has
Mm-hmm.
bad periods has normalized it. So
Mm-hmm.
I agree with everything that you're saying. And I think it's our job to break generational curses the
Yeah.
same way we want to break them with, childhood traumas or the
Mm-hmm.
way this happening with
Mm-hmm.
this person in my family. I'm going to break the curse or the curse of
Mm-hmm.
nobody went to college. I'm going to be the
Nobody went to go.
first one. And it's
Mm-hmm.
like, you got to break the curse and say, and
It's so
I'm going to be the woman that talks out loud about the issues that happen below my belly button. And I'm going to make
right.
sure that all of my little
Right.
cousins and aunts and nephews and everybody understands it. Because let me tell you something, even though it's our bodies, men also even whether they are our brothers, our uncles, our
Mm-hmm.
partners, our friends, they
Mm-hmm.
also need to know what's going on. Because as I
Yes.
said, I was in a relationship for 7 years, gave away my best baby making years. I was in a relationship with a man. And I remember one of the things that I've done in my fertility advocacy is I created a partnership with Evite. And I have invitations, and I'm sure we'll talk about that, but I have invitations for those on the journey to parenthood, showers for us instead of just baby showers. And but one of the things that happened when that came out is a man reached out to me and was like, can you give me some information on fertility clinics? Because I was with this woman for a very long time, like 4 or 5 years. And after I heard you say you gave away your best baby making years, I realized I wasted her time. And I didn't realize what I was doing, because I always talk about the fact that you're not just giving away your time, your energy, your effort into that relationship.
Right.
If you have ovaries with eggs in them, you're giving away your biology. That is the truth.
That's very true.
Giving away your biology. And when you think about it that way, you will get out of that expired relate. You will be like, yo, he ain't worth my biology. I'm tripping.
That's true.
And so this young man reached out because he was like, I want to help her freeze her eggs. And I thought, oh, they will step up and do different when they know different.
Right. Exactly. Oh my goodness. I love that you have a partnership with Evite. I mean, you brought it up, but I love that you have a partnership with Evite. Can you please expand on that a little bit more?
Well, I was on the Sherry show, my good friend Sherry Shepherd, and I had thrown an egg shower with Laurel Fertility Care here in California. When I was freezing my eggs, there was no shower for me. There was no celebration, and I thought about the fact that those people that are going through infertility, or like myself, that are delayed in the journey, not denied, but delayed.
Delayed, not denied.
Correct. When we get baby shower invitations, as happy as we are to celebrate our friends and our coworkers and our family members, especially if you are infertile, or especially if you have an underlying condition that's inhibiting you from being able to get pregnant naturally, those baby shower invites become very triggering. And it's not that you don't want to go, but sometimes you can't go. Sometimes the tears are too heavy that day. It's not that you're not happy for your friend, but sometimes you're jealous of your friend because you're giving yourself shots in your stomach and in your abdomen and your behind every day trying to have this baby. And it is depressing. It is hard. It is draining your pockets. It is breaking up your relationship. You don't believe in God anymore. You are going through it just to create a family. And I thought about the fact that who's going to throw a shower for those people? Because they deserve it too. Their journeys deserve a shower too.
Yes.
My journey, just because I'm single and waiting for the right person and preserving my fertility, that's a step that I'm taking towards my future, the same way my pregnant friend is. So who's going to throw me a shower? So I said, I'm going to.
I love that.
So I partnered with Evite after the Sherry show. They saw that episode and they reached out, and I had a conversation with them, and I said, how about not just an IVF shower invite or an egg shower invite? Let's do a whole new category, and it's called Parenthood Journey. And it's so therefore it's not a place where you get triggered. It's a place where you get celebrated and you get seen and you are valued and you are heard. There are IVF showers, rainbow baby showers for those that are pregnant after experiencing loss, adoption showers, surrogacy showers, as well as egg showers when you're freezing your eggs. And I designed my very own egg shower invite. So
I love that. That is amazing. And I love how you break that down, because as you were talking, like I said, my sister, she's pregnant and she just put out her shower invitations. And I've never, ever thought about that before, even though we just had a conversation about all the things, right? But some of the closest things to you you tend to forget others, right? Like you really do. Like, especially if it's something you're excited for. Like my sister's excited for her new baby girl. I'm excited because I love kids and I will let her have one myself. But and I'm so excited. And even though I know this very concretely, designed your egg shower, Evite.
Yes, it's a premium. It's a premium Evite, y'all. Okay. So you
Premium
can
Evite,
download, you
y'all.
can go.
Premium.
I got
She threw that in there. You
it's a
can't play with her.
premium.
It's her.
But
It's her design.
yes, you can't play with me. It's my design. It'll say egg shower and Kellee Stewart. My name is next to it. And my
Okay.
design. But I have to say, because everybody, Olivia Pollock, Karen Graham, David, the CEO of Evite, were so enthusiastic. Now, here is the top online invitation platform that reaches over 100 million users. And they could not have been more welcoming and open to me to serve the infertility community and those on the journey of parenthood. And they were like, we're a party platform. And this was a void that we didn't know we were missing. And thank you. Thank you for bringing this to our attention, because sometimes we listen. And I said to them, this was just something I decided to do for myself and other people. So when I throw them with fertility clinics, egg showers, we give away a free egg freezing cycle. We gave away 2 egg freezing cycles here in Los Angeles for contest winners. Yeah. Oh, I don't play no games. I don't play no games in these fertility streets.
Wow.
Okay.
That's
I'm
why
out
I'm
here
like,
to
wait,
serve
hold on.
community. Yes. 2 beautiful Black women won free egg freezing cycles plus 1 year storage. One was in the military. So while she was in the military, her eggs declined. Another was actually an egg donor in college. She was donating and other people were having children. And then when she was trying, it was problematic because she has PCOS. So we were able to help her. She was helping others. We were able to help her. So, but yes, back to Evite. They were fantastic. And
I love them.
I just wanted to catch on. I want it to be normalized. The baby shower tradition in this country started in the 1950s baby boom era, after the war, when the soldiers came back and they were throwing these parties to shower the expectant mother with gifts and encouragement and support. I'm going to be clear. I'm a Black woman. I know that I wasn't part of that tradition when it was created in the 1950s. Do you understand what I'm saying? Do you understand what I'm saying to you?
Yeah.
I participate in it. I've gone to 100 baby showers. I buy the gifts. I do all the things. But when I thought about, was anybody even thinking of me, Kellee, a Black girl, when this tradition came to the United States? I don't think so. So I'm going to create my own tradition that everybody can enjoy, but that speaks to my experience. And what I'm most proud of is that when I leave this earth, Evite will still be here. And there will still be people to go online and say, I'm going to throw an IVF shower. I'm going to throw an adoption shower. I'm going to throw a surrogacy shower. Why not? Your journey deserves a shower too. That's the slogan.
For sure.
Your journey deserves a shower too.
I agree with that. Oh my goodness. That is like so beautiful. No, and it's just like, it's like almost a self-check within a conversation, because you do have to be more mindful. Like, even though we think we could be the most knowledgeable, mindful, self-aware about the world, but it's like, when it's close to you, like I said, you're really not thinking that way because you're selfishly like, oh my God, yes. Oh, she's coming. And you're sending out all these baby showers to just everybody, friends, family, everybody. And they could get that and just be like, be like, I miscarried, or something's going on with me, or I'm infertile, or this and that, or whatever. And there's no, oh my God. Like, you just gave me so many things to think about. And I want to share this conversation. Like, oh my God, when I tell you it's going on my personal Facebook, okay? Because I need y'all to know this. I mean, this is a lot. This is a lot. We really do have to get out of, like you said, the bad periods. Endometriosis, if it's that painful, listen to your body. Don't worry about that 1 through 10. Is it 1 through 10 pain? No, like, you should not be having that much pain on your cycle like that. That is so very true. So for you, I know,
and there's a lot of
go ahead.
No, I was going to say there's a lot of underlying conditions. I love that you brought up the endometriosis and your challenge with that. And I just think, I'll be honest, until I was an advocate, I really didn't understand my reproductive health. I didn't know I was born with all the eggs I was ever going to have. I didn't learn that until I was in my 30s, y'all. And I say that because I don't want anybody to feel ashamed or feel like, wait, why didn't I know that? Because it's not taught to you. That's why you didn't know it.
I didn't even know that. I'm in healthcare and I ain't know that.
Correct. And that's why we're telling you right now that you are born with as many eggs as you're ever going to have. You do not make more as you age. It's egg quality goes down. There are different things in the environment that can cause it to go down, like drinking water out of plastic bottles. Certain things like that can actually start to kill off eggs. There are a lot of underlying conditions that you may or may not be aware of, like KoGi said, endometriosis, fibroids, but there's also PCOS. There's also adenomyosis, when the endometrial lining is inside of the uterine muscle itself. There's also blocked fallopian tubes that happen. And what I will say is that if there are two people, one with sperm, one with egg, that are trying to get pregnant and it's not working, test the sperm person first, because the test that someone that is female or identifies as female has to go through is, first of all, very painful and also expensive. And before we get off of here, I just want to say that 1/3 of all infertility cases between sperm and egg is female factor. 1/3 of infertility cases between sperm and egg is male factor. So before we leave this conversation, we have to understand that male factor and us are basically equal. Even though women wear the face of infertility, and it usually looks like the finger is pointing at us. No, bro. No, sweetheart. Them swimmers might not have any more mobility. That sperm count might be low. There may be a blockage, to which there are procedures for men that have blockages. And men do not need to be ashamed or afraid of the fact that they too can think that they are fertile until they're trying and realize, oh wait, it's me. It's me that's the issue in this journey. Yes, it is not infertility is not just a female problem. We share it equally, and we also have to know that.
That is so important. Thank you for saying that, because I do know, that is very true. I'm not going to even go further, but it is very true. And it is a very hard realization when that does happen. It can be very hard for the man to accept that.
We have to learn about it.
Yeah. You breaking that down.
There's a book called this. It's the truth. There's a book called Semen Secrets that a good friend of mine, TJ Payton, wrote. So please check that out. All about male factor infertility, Semen Secrets, and because her husband experienced it, and yes. So all of these advances that the women are wearing the faces of, it's not just us. It's not just us. So don't carry that shame. Don't carry that shame. Don't carry it. We as a society need to give each other grace and know that your journey is worthy, and we all have a different journey to parenthood. If you want to be a parent, you will be a parent. It may or may not happen the way you thought, but
Mm-hmm.
just know that there's help and there's resources out there.
That part. And when you say help and resources, I think too, yeah, before we get off here, I do want to ask you. I mean, listen, I ain't rich, okay? Um, and so, let's say I am in a long-term partnership with a woman and we decide to do IVF. We start to explore. I will say just explore, right? Because like you said, there's so many things now. Financially, I mean, what are some of those resources? Because that is such a beautiful experience. But at the same time, okay, we may not have 30,000 sitting around or 40,000 or however much it is. Like, yeah.
Well, first you should know that there are a lot of states that actually have infertility insurance now. So people need to check with
See?
actually, I was just part of an initiative for California to cover insurance to cover IVF. And it was delayed in the passing of it, and they will be bringing it back up. But just know, check your state specifically, because there's a lot of states that now carry it. The people that I run with in the fertility streets, as I call them, we have been doing this for years, making sure that different employers start to carry infertility insurance. And if your employer and your insurance does not have it, go to your HR department at your job and ask them why not. Tell them you
You
want
know
it,
what?
because
You know
we are not opening our mouths. There's a really wonderful insurance company called Progeny. They cover infertility insurance, and tell your employer, I know the company that covers infertility insurance that I need y'all to get in alignment with. And
I
one of
love
my
that,
very, that's
Kellee.
right. I work with Progeny as well. They sent me to the Empire State Building. Progeny Insurance. We don't play these games. But also, there are grants if you are going through infertility. Cade Foundation, Broken Brown Egg. There are different grants out there on the internet. Look up your fertility advocates, your nonprofit organizations. I'm working on a grant for an egg freezing grant for a Kellee Stewart egg freezing grant, where I will be taking applicants. You have social media is a great resource to find out who's doing any kind of contest like I do, or grants. Now, the other thing you can do, as we talked about the showers, is throw yourself an IVF shower. Register at paypal.com or Venmo, the same way that they register at Target and Target and all the things,
You
and you
right,
spend all the
girl.
money.
Wait.
Don't have any shame in
See, I
a
think that's what it is.
GoFundMe.
That shame come out, girl. I was like, oh, wait.
Well, get rid of it. Get rid of it, and get rid of it quick. Because you know what? Like I said, there's nothing about your journey that is not valuable. So why do you treat it like it's not? You know what I mean?
That's true.
And then sometimes, we're going to have to save. Maybe we can't go on that vacation. Maybe we can't buy that purse because we have an egg fund. We have an IVF fund. Here's another tip. One of the things that I did is I took out a new credit card. You know, when you get those credit card applications in the mail.
Oh, yeah,
if
in
you
the
have
mail,
decent credit, and if you don't, fix it. But if you get a credit card application, I just like called all of them, and I was like, who's gonna give me the most line of credit? And whoever gave me the biggest line of credit, I signed up, and I put my whole egg freeze on that. I was like, I'll worry about the money later. I will worry about paying for it later. Right now, I got to get these eggs frozen as young as I can. And the bill was about $19,000. I signed up for a credit card. They gave me $20,000 line of credit. And I was like, swipe it. Swipe it. Thank you.
Swipe the whole thing then.
Swipe.
Okay.
Yeah, and you'll figure it out. Then throw your egg shower after. I don't care.
Suggestions though. I didn't even think about
tell
it.
people you need money. All of those things. So yes, look online for grants. Throw the shower, get the credit card. Don't go on that vacation. GoFundMe. Do what you got to do. Do what you got to do.
I love that. I love that. Okay. Yeah, got me. Listen, that gave me a little bit more hope. I'm like, okay, I'm single. Okay, I don't feel like I'm gonna just be swinging on the porch somewhere, till I'm 70.
No, not at all. Not at all.
I'm married, just the old lesbian swinging on the porch.
You want to get
I could get
married?
my. I do. That's the thing. Like,
Okay,
I
so then
really,
you're going to
really
get
do.
married. What we have to do, you have to speak it into existence.
Yeah,
And
I
and let me
know.
tell and let me just say this. This is getting personal, audience, but it's okay. And let me just say this, that your singlehood is a beautiful thing. Don't look down
Mm-hmm.
upon it. Don't speak into it in a negative way. Don't feel like it
Mm-hmm.
doesn't serve a very divine purpose.
Mm-hmm.
It does. Whatever God has in store for you, if this season is a single season, surrender to it in the
Mm-hmm.
understanding that it is there to grow you. It is there for you to plant new seeds. Whatever you need to learn about yourself in this season, go ahead and learn it. And your prayer should be, God, I know you're preparing me. And I thank you in advance for the partnership and the marriage that you are bringing
Mm-hmm.
into my life. You have to believe that thing. And even if you don't believe it, say it anyway. There's something that my mother used to say to me whenever I would say I'm not doing good in school, or they didn't like
Mm-hmm.
me in this audition, and like I'm just so
Mm-hmm.
sick of it, and I'm fat, and my thighs is getting bigger, she would always say, watch what you say about my child. Watch what you say about yourself. Watch how you speak into your life. Watch the
Mm-hmm.
way you talk about your life. Watch the way
Mm-hmm.
that you talk about your future. No, you ain't going to be swinging on no church at 70 by yourself. If that's not what you want, don't claim it out your mouth.
You're right.
Do not claim it
You're
out your
right.
mouth. Faith cometh by hearing, and hearing by the word of God. Your tongue is powerful. Your
Mm-hmm.
tongue is powerful. I talked about Evite on the Sherry Show before they called. I said, Evite don't have an invitation for me. And now look, Evite has an
Mm-hmm.
invitation for everybody. So there is
You're right.
power in the tongue. All right.
Mm-hmm.
So I just wanted to
That's
offer
right.
that to you, because I
Thank
also
you
want to
so
invite
much.
to your wedding. I want to invite when it's time.
Listen,
I
okay,
want to invite.
listen. When I walk down that aisle, I promise I better see Kellee, because I'm gonna be like, girl, appreciate you. Thank you. Yes, I need to.
Yes, and you will play this. You will play this. You're gonna play this podcast the night before your wedding. You're gonna remember. That's when I stopped talking smack about my single life, and I said,
Yes,
God,
that's
thank
when I
you.
stop.
Pour
That's
into
I'm
me.
waking.
Get me
Thank
ready.
you.
Prepare
Get me
me. Yes,
ready.
you got to
Prepare
get
me.
ready. Get me ready. Prepare
Except
me.
this single season, you prepare me. Okay, I got you.
It's a
Yeah,
beautiful thing.
you're
It's a
right.
beautiful thing.
You're
Mm-hmm,
right. The
mm-hmm.
tongue is powerful. You speak over negativity. That's all it's gonna be. You are very right.
That's all it's
Well,
gonna be.
we're gonna close this thing out. This has been so great. Like, thank you, because you did not have to take out your time. I know you have a lot of things, my dear, but I appreciate you for just taking out your time to inform me and the audience about such a important topic. Women's health, reproductive health, and like you said, hey, men out there, listen, Semen Secrets. That's a wonderful book. Like, hey, listen, this show is not just for women, it's for men too. So thank you for that information. I know you have something coming up, and I want you to make sure you get that out. The reproductive medicine, right? Conference.
Oh, I'm
Aren't
gonna
you're
go
doing
to the
something, right?
yes. I host all up in these fertility streets. So the American Society of Reproductive Medicine. I'm going to be
Mhm.
in New Orleans, Louisiana, October 15th,
There you
hosting for
go.
the American Society of the Reproductive Medicine. So those are my friends.
I love
And then
that.
I'll be celebrating with the National Infertility Association with Resolve in November. So it's, yeah, I stay
Look,
busy in these streets.
see, that's why I said thank you for coming, because, honey, I know you in the streets. You
I'm
were
in these
in the
streets. I'm
streets.
in these streets.
Oh my
I ain't in
God.
these.
Well, thank
We're
you.
striking right now, but I stay in the fertility streets all day, every day.
Ooh,
Okay.
yes, yes. And you be in them
Yes.
streets too. So hey, I appreciate y'all. Like, y'all are, yeah. Hmm.
Yes.
So thank
Yes.
you so
But
much.
thank
Tell the
you.
people. Tell the people where they can find you, though. Get your info.
Well, y'all can find me at KStew, KSTEW222 on Instagram. I host a show called Warrior Wednesdays. It will be back later this fall, where I talk to doctors, so you can get kind of free consultations with me, child. I have my favorite doctors on, as well as other patients that are going through things. Celebrities come on and hang out and talk about their fertility journeys. So that's going to be later this fall in 2023. So you can follow me at KStew222 on Twitter. It's my name. It's Kellee_Stewart. The same with Threads and TikTok, but I don't TikTok that much. Just follow me on Instagram or Twitter. You know, I be on Twitter. I be on the X with KoGi all day.
Yeah, you be on that X, child.
Because I'm a writer, so I'm a reader. So I don't do the pictures and the videos as much. I'm a writer, so I like reading. I like conversation, so I be on the X. KoGi be there too, y'all, all the time.
Yeah, I'll be there.
We be there.
I'll be there.
Yeah, we be there.
Okay, my dear. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your night. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
Of course, of course.